Welcome back to Streaming Media West 2017. I'm Tim Siglin, contributing editor with Streaming Media and media strategy principal at Reelsolver. Today I have with me Margareta Sauger, and she's from PCCW Global. Now, Margaret, you did a panel. Well, first of all, tell our audience what PCCW is, because I know, but maybe not everybody else will.
PCCW Global is an international telecom company. So we have services available in about 150 countries in the world, and that ranges from traditional telco services to what is applicable here, media, broadcast, and a whole suite of available solutions within that vertical.
Interesting. So you were on a panel, or you did a presentation about virtual reality video.
Exactly.
And specifically, what was the focus?
So it's a use case that was developed earlier this year, and one of my colleagues in Hong Kong, Alex Berriman, had the thought of why not do a live 360 VR event as a proper use case, because little to none were available at the time. That's how this kind of ball got to rolling. We already have internet, we have talent, we have knowledge. Now how could you combine all of that, partner with the right partners, and make this a reality?
And who was the right partner from a talent standpoint?
So internal, within PCCW, we have many different organizations. One of them is Now TV, so a lot of TV talent right there. Of course, our own data backbone infrastructure. And we partnered with Harmonic, who had already done some similar use cases that we could kind of brainstorm together on what will be the right 360 live event approach. Then we wrote an RFP, because we're not a production house, so we did need to get that element of it as well. We partnered with an SI company, Ideal Services, and they brought in the Nokia, Ozo, and other elements to make the stadium component fully produced before it then gets handed off onto our network.
Okay. And the event that you covered, I know we talked about that earlier, but tell me what was the event that was used?
Yeah, Hong Kong Rugby Sevens, one of the largest international sporting events, takes place in Hong Kong. And the beauty of it is that you have a dense population. We're the incumbent provider in that particular Hong Kong city. Now TV had the content rights, we had the capability, the partnership. So you combine all that into the perfect blend, if you will, to have a use case from an actual real live experience.
And in that live experience, was it geo-blocked where only people within Hong Kong could view it? That's too bad.
It is too bad, but as VR is still in some ways in version 1.0, it gave us a lot of insight and experience into what went well, what kind of were the handicaps and struggles, the user experience, our client, actually Now TV, allowing us to do this, and what can we do next go around? How is this really helping the user experience?
So it's not just user experience, it's also gaining the experience within PCCW to understand the difference between virtual reality video versus standard video.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously you can watch this event in your traditional environment, watching it on TV, but you can now do this in VR by your headset mounted device, whether you use a card box or any of the devices out there today, and you get the sense and the experience of being in the stadium and seeing these players come hurtling at you, and immersion of the 360 where you can see what's going on in the stadium and on the field, in addition to just the traditional viewing methodology.
And so you had end users who actually consume the content. Were they using the Samsung VR solutions, Oculus Rift?
Yeah, any of them, yeah.
And how did you get viewers to actually watch it? Did you do a television commercial that said, or social media to say, hey, on this day, watch this thing live?
Well, here's the kicker of this project. We had 6 weeks to get it done.
Oh, wow.
So the App Store process alone is about 2 to 3 weeks.
Of course.
So we were only able to launch it 2 days prior.
Oh, wow.
So it did give us some limitation. However, it was extremely positively received. it did get a lot of media exposure.
Okay.
So the sponsors, the Now TV, they were quite pleased with it because it did give them a good amount of exposure in the
And now
market.
that you have the app that's launched, you could potentially repurpose that app if you wanted to do a second use case?
Possibly, but I
Or
do
are
believe
there
it's like a
lessons
single
learned
use,
that-
single use app. Lessons learned, you got to get your equipment in the stadium, you've got to get the angles of the camera right. Those were elements that were unknown territory, uncharted territory. Getting the app approved, processed, launched, now we know. And then of course we could have done a lot more advertising. So next go around, hopefully we will get to that point. But ultimately it was a positive experience, and a lot of users really walked off with it with a, wow, we had no idea this can be done. So we live and breathe this industry. A lot of people don't. So it's yet another avenue to pull in viewers or new generation viewers that otherwise might never go watch the game.
Right. Wow. Margaret, thank you very much for your time.